Hello, how are you all? Thank you for the opportunity. I think that Twitter definitely needs some improvements. If you don't mind, I'd like to just review some of the things that I think that it could, where it could find those improvements. Um, First and foremost, I think that it's crazy that the iOS app does not match the Android app, so that the features aren't the same. Many times, people are trying to explain to others ways to troubleshoot the app, and they don't realize that they're not on the same platform, and so the suggestions that they're giving aren't going to be suitable for the other person. Additionally, the fact that you can't use Twitter on a desktop computer aside from using some type of emulator like BlueStacks is ridiculous to me. If Twitter wants to become, I mean, it's a large social media platform, but if it wants to advance into being the all in all X app from X Corp, essentially, it's going to have to work on its improvements, especially the amount of time it takes for updates. It's ridiculous to me. Look, I like Elon Musk. I think he's done a great job for free speech on Twitter and Twitter Spaces specifically, but the amount of time that it takes between every update is just it's too long. Essentially, if he wants to implement video chat and encryption and audio calls, that's all great, but that's going to take 5 years or so. With that, I'd like to hear the room's opinion. Thank you for the opportunity. Thank you so much. I'm happy that I have found similar company. I think that it's also ridiculous that essentially he's asking people for money for Twitter Blue, which I understand he's got to pay the bills, quote unquote. Yet there has been really no quality assurance improvements. People still rug. There's still lack of audio quality, and really at this point, with AI being as advanced as it essentially is, the coding can be done. The developers no longer have to do much more than essentially use AI for much of the coding. I don't understand as well why Twitter channels essentially that have implemented like Discord has video chat, video conferencing, Zoom with video conferencing, and just take that code and implement it into Twitter. I know it's easier said than done, but really it's just so it's a soft like process using Twitter Spaces. One other major one that I think is just some of the functions itself don't work. If you look and try to, at least on iOS, there's a search bar. On Android, there's not for Twitter Spaces. If you try to search for many types of spaces, they do not show up. You have to literally go to Twitter dashboard to find out how many different other types of spaces are going on around the world. To me, if advertisers knew what a poor platform this was, they wouldn't be paying. Apologies, can you repeat that? Michael? You're exactly right. I didn't realize that. And best wishes with your cryptocurrency. I thought this was a like how can we improve Twitter because of the name. So thank you. Absolutely, I am. That's correct. My driver's license is on my Twitter. You're absolutely correct. We do. Sure. There's a theory that Hitler escaped the bunker in 1945, and so that's that's an alleged picture of Hitler at an older age with his Brazilian lover. I appreciate that. If I can tell you what I'm doing, I live my life like a real life Truman Show, 24/7, 365 on YouTube. I've been doing it for about 2 years now, and I do it for world peace. I don't want people to have war anymore, and so I've been on a one person mission to essentially create a platform where people can discuss world peace. Thank you for the opportunity. Absolutely, on 7 different YouTube streams and 8 different Instagram streams. I'm live on Discord. I'm live on Twitter. I'm live on Facebook. I absolutely do. So when I'm in my car, I stream. I streamed as far north as Santa Barbara, as far south as San Diego. I live in Irvine, California, so I certainly stream from my house. I stream in Hollywood, Beverly Hills, Disneyland, everywhere in between. Yes, I have the Guinness World Record for most content on YouTube. Essentially, I am the person who is live streamed the like the most. So I don't just stream from one stream. I stream from at least 6 at any given time. And essentially, data is Earth's number one resource. And I think that AI in the future will need raw human footage in order to build many of its foundational databases. And I have a perfect, essential time capsule of what life has been post pandemic. I have everything on camera since about 2021, summer of 2021. So that is right during the pandemic when I started this. And what we have is everything from the death of the queen to the birth of AI, the coronation of the king, and everything in between. Thank you guys so much. I really appreciate your kind words. I do. Non-fungible token. I essentially document people in their in the cryptocurrency game and NFT space on a daily basis, and potentially may one day make a documentary on it since I have so much footage. Congratulations. If I understand correctly, Elon Musk just mentioned Milady within the last 24 hours and essentially doubled the floor price. Is that correct? That's very kind of you. Unfortunately, I don't have any funds, so you would have to do that, and I really mean that. I'll show you my bank account. My ATM password 6308. I'm totally on the internet, and if I did have the funds, I would definitely buy one. I think it's an excellent investment, especially since you have major influencers mentioning it. Cappy, bro, thank you so much. I'm going to give Cappy a big shout out on my streams right now. Shout out to Cappy. What a wonderful community, very based community, great social engagement with the people. Thank you so much. Great question. Absolutely. I feel that currently it may not be the most exciting thing to watch someone sleep, but in the future, especially in higher education, it will be studied at great length. Essentially, my circadian rhythms will be studied, my sleep patterns will be studied. We only look at video currently through essentially a micro view and not through a macro view. I see this as potentially a 100-year plan, certainly longer than just instant live streaming views. Uh, what I've done is essentially create a human zoo where you can watch me eat, sleep, go to the bathroom, shower, bathe, everything that a human does. I do on camera for the good of society. Thank you so much. It's quite a bit of data out there, and really, if you know anything, data is the Earth's number one resource. And eventually, I think perhaps I may be not only the world's most famous person, but the world's wealthiest person because of the amount of data that I have online. Thank you so much. I want you know, it's not just me sitting in my room doing nothing. What I like to do is stream documentaries. I also have streamed every major motion picture, essentially, of the last 100 years on the stream. Additionally, every major or every major music album, every major book, everything from the Bible, the Quran, everything between. Additionally, we have ensured that we have throughout this entire time had really some really amazing interactions like we're having now. And it would essentially what my stream is essentially a snapshot or a large snapshot of what life is like. And I really think in the future, just like we study, people of the different centuries, whether it's cave drawings or perhaps paintings or the first photographs or the first videos, this is the first live stream that is available in an archive form. In the same way that Joe Rogan changed the game with long form audio, I think I'll be able to do the same with long form video. And especially once AI is improved a little bit more, where you can take 24 hours of my life and essentially export a 3-minute YouTube short highlight video, it will really take off. I appreciate that. And we're going to make sure all holders of Kathy are made not only millionaires, not only billionaires, but trillionaires. And when I say trillionaires, I really think that will be a thing. I mean, essentially, the richest people in the world right now are $200 billion. But with inflation, being a trillionaire is not that far off. And with crypto being with what it is, and it is certainly a volatile market, it can certainly make everyone in here rich. I think whether you have a lot of money or you don't, I'm certainly someone who doesn't. We are all essentially in the 1% of society. And why is that? We're very, very informed when it comes to cryptocurrencies. And cryptocurrencies are the next stage of economics and perhaps for the next century or beyond. Fiat currencies are dead. I think people, if you really learn how that trick has been played, at least since 1913 in the Federal Reserve, but even prior to that with the Bank of England, you understand that cryptocurrencies provide people with freedom. You all have devices, you're connected to the internet, you're in the crypto game. That is far more advanced than 99% of people out there. More than 50% of people on Earth, I want to help that. I want to help connectivity. I want to help people on Earth. Really, we do talk certainly about cryptocurrencies and NFTs on the stream, but really we talk about world peace and in solving world hunger and some advanced types of technology that aren't being utilized. Cloud seeding to provide rain in drought-stricken areas are one. Vertical farming, hydroponics. These are options perhaps that can help solve world hunger. There's also world thirst. There's building of wells, of course, but there are life straws. We have desalinization plants. I mean, the world is two-thirds water. To me, I don't understand why we don't utilize desalinization plants more. To me, essentially, drought should not be a thing. World thirst should not be a thing. When people talk about, well, it takes a lot of energy to do that. Nuclear power is essentially limitless. People say that it's unsafe. Well, then I say to them, if you don't want to use nuclear power, there are other aspects that we're not using of energy, such as geothermal, where you stick a pipe into the earth and use the earth's heat to turn a turbine, or tidal power, where essentially you take, like we have wind power now, in the same way you just take that wind turbine and put it in the ocean, where you have constant tides every single minute that can turn a turbine. We're not using these things. This is a platform for people to talk about really big ideas and changing the world. To some extent, if you could brief me a little bit more, I'd appreciate it. I think it's certainly a possibility. Really, it's difficult. I mean, to think that gravity is something that affects every single person, every single molecule, every single atom in the entire universe, yet we know so little about it, is really interesting to me. Really, the best person I can tell you who has any kind of information regarding gravity and the reverse of that, anti gravity, is Bob Lazar from his work at S4 related to Area 51 and advanced propulsion. Essentially, though, we don't study gravity, I feel, sufficiently as a society. And one of the reasons I think we don't is because, at least on the surface, so to speak, is because it is so powerful. If you control gravity, you can essentially control space time. You can create force fields. It has unlimited possibilities. I am looking forward to the 21st century and the 22nd century, hopefully, where we are able to study gravity and know more about it. I think that has been laughed at, and I really think that it's certainly possible. I think another option, too, is the use of magnets. Perhaps for perpetual motion. There are many things out there I think that we can utilize, and we are not. Well, really, many of the inventors of the late 19th century, I feel their discoveries and inventions have been suppressed essentially by larger corporations, Edison, Westinghouse, etc. And it's unfortunate that perhaps many of the things that could have changed and revolutionized society in the late 19th century have been covered up. Many people don't know, but like in 1900, there were more electric vehicles on the road than there were gas vehicles on the road. And essentially nowadays it's taken what 100 more than 100 years and we're still not at that point. I personally, though, at least when it comes to some things, the electric car, I'm a major advocate for it, but there is lithium, the need for cobalt. So all in all, when it comes to at least the electric car, I'm more a proponent of hydrogen. Hydrogen cars essentially can take water and essentially use that to power the car, and the only emission is water vapor. And that to me is certainly something that we can utilize. But really, I also think that many of the inventors of the late 19th century as well, their inventions aren't studied enough. I mean, I don't know if your history classes, but it was kind of like you might have just barely touched on these. The actual like discovery of electricity is a very interesting part of history, and people don't really know how it happened, don't know the process. I think a lot of society just wants you to obey and consume and not research these things. In my opinion, we should really go back to many of the things that we discovered in the late 19th century and early 20th century and see if any of them perhaps need a second go around and see if we can improve on any of them. And I think really I would call on some of the major power companies, whether it's Siemens, whether it's GE, whether it's Westinghouse, to release perhaps some of the secrets that they may have discovered. I don't know if they would have any fortune in doing so, but really it is a proven fact that essentially Tesla's inventions after he died were taken by the FBI and essentially uh, hidden from world view. I mean, before Elon Musk and the founding of Tesla at the beginning of the 21st century, Nikola Tesla's name was not mentioned essentially for 50 years. There was a silence on it. And when there's a whole generation out there perhaps that does not know some of the things that he developed and how they could help the world, it's unfortunate. And then people are very skeptical of this because they think it's ancient technology and that, oh, if it would work, we would have done it for one reason or another. That's not necessarily true. Sometimes it wasn't legal to do due to patents, and other times people were killed. People were silenced about this. Well, I just want to thank the room so much. I'm not going to take up any more of your time. Certainly, I want you to know that I am definitely an advocate for Capybara and your crypto. I have done my best to follow everyone in the room. If I haven't, follow me. I'll follow you back. This isn't goodbye forever. This is just goodbye for now. And I look forward to speaking with you all more in the Twitterverse. And thank you so much for the opportunity.